What up, guys? Quickdraw McGraw here. So, for this episode, I thought what we would do is we would run a little test with our supercomputing powers of the day and see if we could follow a superhero from the 1930s all the way through the year 1 million. So, this is actually the first image that I got when I ran through the modern day supercomputing powers of today. So, as you can probably see from this image, she's obviously got a lot of superpowers, this individual at 1 million years, and then from now. And then she's definitely got, as you can see, probably also a lot of courage, but she's also got an enormous amount of cleavage. So, apparently, that's what AI thinks is still in fashion after all these years, cleavage. So then what I did was I took a deeper dive into what I thought, trying to figure out the actual characteristics of the character would be. So it's kind of interesting. It actually starts in the model with 1930s. Okay, so as you can probably recognize this person, it is Wonder Woman. So you can see right there. Um, and so basically, superhero evolution goes from really a patriotic pinup to a military thirst trap, and then a leather divorcee, and then a tactical dominatrix, and a space hottie, and then on to finally a galactic BEYONCÉ. So it was kind of funny at the higher level. So let's get into this a little further. So in the 1930s, she is rocking a red, blue, giant boots and tiny skirt. And nothing says protector of humanity like an outfit designed for by an inappropriate flag manufacturer. And she's not only just fighting crime, she's actually making crime forget why it came into the room when they check her out. All right, so by the 1940s, this would be around World War II, she's gone military. All right, so obviously Wonder Woman did that in the movies that she had. And that uniform is actually so tight that the Geneva Convention held a emergency session with all of the members from all the different nations. And so forget about interrogating enemy spies. She walks into the room and suddenly everybody is volunteering classified information. And then we move on to the 1980s, and well, boom, black leather is apparently in style. And she looks like she divorced Batman and took the motorcycle, his house slash mansion, and half of the Batcave, and actually had Alfred testify against him in court. And so at this point, villains aren't even, they're actually surrendering because they're not scared. They're actually surrendering because something confusing just happened in their pants when they take a look at her. So then we have the 2000s, and that brought tactical gear and 47 belts. And my question is, what is in all of those pockets? Weapons? Are we talking handcuffs? Are these batteries that are in there? Emergency condoms? She looks like she went on the Home Depot website and did a search on dominatrix and then clicked add everything to cart and then did a checkout. All right, so in the near future arrives, and she apparently is rocking what superheroes have at the time of silver outfits. And she apparently decided that pants were optional, that the looks, and she looks like she fights aliens at about 7 o'clock at night. She serves martinis at 8, and then has HR calling her at 9 o'clock to come into their office. And then there's the woman in the middle, and everybody else is dressed. While everybody else dresses for combat, she shows up dressed like a Victoria's Secret model who conquered Asgard, gold everywhere, glowing like a nuclear chandelier, and wearing an outfit with enough strategic openings to make villains go, wait. Why did we come here and what are we actually fighting about? And finally, in 1 million AD, just like our person right here in our canvas painting, apparently in this picture, humanity has conquered space. They have mastered teleportation and colonized planets. And apparently, she still hasn't conquered the superhero Camel Toe. And that's really unfortunate. And so basically, the message there is technology has marched forward, but spandex refuses to die. And somehow her hair, let's talk about her hair, stays perfect after 1 million years. Civilizations, they collapsed, continents started to shift, entire species vanished, and those curls, well, they're still getting way more action than most of us. All right. So that is our superhero character that advanced technology today in 2026 came up with from 1930 all the way through the year 1 million. So the next thing we're going to do in the second half of this segment is we're going to go into the guys. And actually, we have a pretty good idea of the three guys that are out there and have been out there in comics for quite a long time now that we can pull up upon to actually get their story and then compare them with what AI put together as far as the woman that it followed from 1930s all the way until the year 1 million. So let's go there. All right, guys. So now we're going to go on to the guy front of basically eternity. So little wider time frame that we did with our female superhero. So basically, the first one that we're going to be talking about is Resurrection Man. And he is a superhero that basically dies, he comes back to life, and gains a new superpower each time he dies. So shoot him, vaporize him, or launch him into space, the guy just will not die and respawns and upgrade. And so after 1 million years, Resurrection Man has collected nearly every single superpower imaginable, except the one that he needs, which is basically the charisma to woo the ladies. So there you go. And so he can survive cosmic annihilation, be put in front of a beautiful lady, and suddenly he basically has the sweaty, tongue-tied, and is about as charming as a brick. Unfortunate for him. And then there's Vandal Savage. All right, let's talk about this guy. He is a prehistoric caveman who encountered a mysterious meteorite 50,000 years ago. And the guy basically told eternity and life and everything else to F off at that point. He is basically, as empires have rised and civilizations have collapsed, he just can and continents move. Vandal Savage, he keeps on hanging around. He's plotting world domination. Yet, again, like our bombshell character from Themyscira walks into a room And suddenly he has this immortal mastermind is staring at the floor like a teenager who just discovered boobs. So a bit of a background on Immortal Man and Vandal Savage. You can actually read about this in this uh, graphic novel here. It's pretty interesting. It talks about the two of them being brothers. It's called Resurrection Man, Quantum Karma, and I'm gonna show a picture of this and then show you a few of the actual pages from there of like where they are and how they kind of interact and everything else. It's pretty brutal, and the it's really this Resurrection Man, Quantum Karma #3 is where they actually show up. That's the actual episode in the comics. And Resurrection Man discovers that Vandal Savage is his brother, and what he's doing is he is proving that even mortals can't escape awkward family reunions. And Vandal murders him thousands of years ago, and only for Resurrection Man to come back for him to life. And it basically makes it less than an assassination and more of a extremely aggressive timeout. Now the immortal brothers are basically locked in this endless cycle of murder and resurrection and sibling drama for all of eternity. So some families hold grudges. Yeah, these two guys, they hold them for eternity. And so then our buddy Lobo, all right, who apparently spent 1,000,000 years drinking, collecting bounties, starting intergalactic bar fights, and losing his motorcycle. Not sure if you know this, but heaven wouldn't let him in. No surprise. Hell actually kicked him out. And then death came around on Earth and told and looked at him that with the cigar and the chains and the homicidal space biker BS and said, yeah, no, I'm not dealing with this guy. That's a very hard pass. So here we are in 1,000,000, and we've got these three immortal badasses who survived extinction events, exploding planets, cosmic wars, and the complete collapse of civilization. And they've stared down monsters, they've gone up against gods, they've armies themselves, and actual death itself without even flinching. And then Wonder Woman walks in the room, which apparently is who AI thinks is the immortal woman and perfect character for all of eternity. And she's still ageless, she's still gorgeous, and she's still carrying herself as if she could go in and kick all three of their asses before breakfast and look absolutely fabulous doing it. And so Lobo's cigar hangs motionless. Resurrection Man forgets how sentences work. Vandal Savage, after 50,000 years of manipulating humanity, suddenly cannot remember how to introduce himself without sounding like a horny teenage caveman. And so Diana, she doesn't even have to try. She's a beautiful, powerful, and she's completely aware of all that. And the three men who couldn't be intimidated by death itself are now terrified of saying the wrong thing to the hottest woman that they've ever known who has ever existed. So it turns out death wasn't the final boss, Diana was. All right, guys, hopefully you enjoyed this. This is our little experiment in usage of modern technology to get that question answered of the woman and the three men that would last for all of eternity, um, and have and will in the modern day comics. Hopefully you enjoyed this. It's kind of a crazy topic, but I had fun with it. Hope you did. Like, subscribe, tell your friends. Like, subscribe, tell your friends, and we will Check you next time. Bye.